Hello, my name is Desmond Chen, and I will be presenting my game S.O.S, which is essentially a GTFO clone. It is a stealth shooter with horror elements, and could be classified as like a sensation challenge type of game, where the emotion comes from the fear of the unknown and trying to deal with the new problems that you face, and the challenge being its very difficult and challenging nature, similar to that of Dark Souls. Where there's a steep learning curve, but once that is met, then you are very proficient at the game. So the stealth element of the game is with the way you interact with the different enemies in the game. So we can go into that. So in the first couple screens, you'll get a bit of flavor, and you will get a letter from the warden, which will detail different aspects of the game, like your weapons, hammer, pistol, and combat shotgun, which correlate to the weapons 1, 2, and 3. Pressed on the keyboard, and basically detailing basic elements about how to give advice how to traverse through your game. Movement being WASD, interaction being E, reloading being R. The feature about reloading is that you must devote 100% attention to reloading and must hold it out through the whole duration of it. The shift button for running, and the crouch. These two buttons are very crucial because running will immediately alert any enemies in the area, space dooming very minimally to do the opposite. And this is a very crucial part of the game. The text does warn you, not completely outright about this, but I think it is a good hint. So the flavor being from the warden, and he is the person who has dropped you down into this game. So we can see that if I press any of the buttons, so movement, and then the sprite changes based on what I'm holding, and the player model follows my mouse. So I would also like to mention that the sprites were all original, with the one exception being the player model is just a modified version of something I found online from an online asset library that was modified to hold different items. The items themselves, like so the weapons, are not taken from resources. Those are drawn by myself. And the enemies as well have also been hand-drawn and have animations of their own. So, like you just saw there, I moved, which caused it to attack. And if I move crouch towards the enemy, it will blink to alert me that is about to attack. So let's say, for example, I move towards it while it is clicking. It will wake up and begin attacking. And my health bar here shows my damage. I have my objective and levels in the corner, and my percentage and ammo capacity in here. So one of the mechanics of the hammer is a percentage amount of damage dealt by holding and charging the weapon. So based on that circle, you can see how much damage it is. And as you saw, because I ran, and all the enemies in the area woke up. And also, because I left them awake for a certain time, they woke up all the other enemies in the room. So we can see this door here, and if I go close to it, it will say, prompt me with a hold E to interact. If I click E, the door will turn green, and I can walk through. So this is kind of an example of the room layout, kind of just increasing the tension as you have to walk through these to see these enemies, because these enemies are essentially asleep and cannot see you. So there's a specific importance on the auditory element of this game, of your player and of the enemies who are fighting. So these are sleepers, and this is a big boy, which is almost essentially like a boss. And if you noticed, because I did not hold crouch as I was walking towards it, it immediately started scanning for my movement. So, I guess I will showcase the shooting mechanics now, because I have to. So, the pistol does 3 damage per hit, while the shotgun does a spread damage over of several bullets. So, if I get close to him, and start charging me, I can shoot him. And that is an example of me reloading. There's no animation, but there is an auditory element that indicates when things are, and you can also see in the HUD here the percentage is changed, and this first number indicates your current ammo in your magazine. So I have the terminal here. If I hold E to interact, this aborted expedition scan will appear, and you can hear a wave has been spawned and will continuously chase you through the level. So this wave will chase you down through the level, and you have to make sure you can survive long enough in the circle in order to progress to the next level. If you stand outside of it, your percentage will go down. Yeah, so just these are also shooters. I did not mention that earlier. These are shooters. They run away from the player when you get near them, and are intentionally hard to hit.
Warning. Elevated threat level. Proceed with caution.
So, I just completed that level, and I've been sent to the next level. So, the increasing challenge in this game is coming from either the room layouts, enemy placements, enemy types, as you will soon see, will also change. They will still always be sleepers and shooters, but there will be new enemies I will show you very briefly. And also, and in this game, there are different types of objectives to complete. The first 2 levels feature terminals, and the 3rd level will feature something called a reactor, which I will show in the future. So, same business, and I will take the extra time to go to this next room. And I would also like to note that killing all of these enemies is not necessary. Stealthing in this game is more important, okay? And I woke up everything in you can see, because that big boy was awake for more than 2 seconds, it caused everything else in the room to wake up as well. Okay, well, back to business as normal. Opening this door. So, you can see big boys. I personally wouldn't really want to have to deal with them, so I will try my best to stealth around them. And we can see here in a locker. So this locker, when opened, will assign the player a random item, either from a health pack or a item pack. So here it shows med pack in the corner. I currently don't need it, but I would rather see what's in here to see if I get an ammo, because I would not mind a top up on ammo. This is the example of me messing up. Ammo, perfect. So, the important thing about the ammo is I made it specific to that it will only increase the ammo total that is not in the magazine. And you see there, it just increased it by 20% on each one. So you can just to the next room. And this is the added challenge. This would be the scout. So anything that the scouts are blind, and they cannot see or see the player. And they only react to auditory cues. Meaning, if I shoot, if I run, or if any one of these enemies wake it up, it will scream and do a special action. So I will actually intentionally wake him up to show what he does. If I, for say, mess up here, and he wakes up, the scout will turn blue, and he will scream, causing him to spawn more. So the scout apparently does not have damage, but that's more as a body block so that the babies or sleepers can go towards the player. So if I progress, so based on that, I made it integral to that. The gameplay element would show you what that does first through the layout, and will then increase the challenge here. So an important thing to know is that, let's say you do, I will alert them. Let's say you do alert the scouts. I will kill this big boy first. If I kill them first, they will not spawn. So that's something that I hope the player will figure out through the design of the level, through trial and error. So this is the terminal room. press to grab this locker here. I would not mind the ammo. So these lockers are essentially here to make the game easier. I intentionally made it so that for every level changing, for all the levels that change, you do not recuperate ammo. The only thing that resets is your health. Because in the title card, I warned the player of this that ammo is a valuable resource, and you probably will not be getting it after. So, once I do this terminal, a wave will spawn, meaning that everything in this room will probably wake up. So, if I get out, they will not follow me, but the wave in itself should. If I'm quick enough, I can make it. Okay, yeah, see, I'm gonna have to do some fighting here. So not die. Okay. I have to survive in here until also, yes, the shooters are also specifically out of range of the shotgun.
Warning. Threat level.
Yeah.
Proceed with caution.
Okay, welcome to the third level. So, this will feature a new type of gameplay mechanic that is called the reactor. So the reactor is this thing here, and it is essentially going to spawn waves until all the requirements are met for the reactor to finish. So I will first. I don't need to grab any equipment. Health would be nice. Ammo would be nice. But so this is all here for that gameplay mechanic, because you are going to have to stay in this room and survive as long as possible until all the requirements are met. So I'll click E to interact, and I will create a warm-up sequence. So this is kind of just to build tension and kind of just get the player in the mood for what is about to happen. There is, in fact, because I know what's going to happen, it's not scary at all. But I feel like for any players who are completely unaware of what may happen, it could be quite jarring. But I don't intend any of this to be unfair. That's bad game design. I think that this game just needs to, it just needs to have build up. Waves will spawn, and you just have to survive. And so this stress test indicates that waves will be continuing coming towards the player. At first, it's a very slow trickle of waves, and eventually it will slowly increase in intensity. It is highly likely that you will run out of food supplies, and there is an option to survive again. So this stress test is almost coming to an end. And when the stress test comes to an end, you must activate the next stage to start up the next sequence. So there should be about 3 or 4 of these until the game is ended. Okay, so I actually want to intentionally kill myself so that I could show you what happens when the game dies. So 2 big boys will spawn, and they will do 20 damage to me, basically killing me if I'm not careful. This screen will come up, and this button will appear. Click drop, and you're sent back. So, this is just, the level is reset. I specifically set it so that your health is at half for all minutes. And you can just go back and do the level over. I didn't want to die way too late because I do not have to make you sit through all of that You do keep the items though. Every time you die. You do have infinite amounts of retries, and you will always restart at the beginning of the level every time. There are no like midway achievements. So if you wait for this to finish, it's hard. As you can see, based on that restart, all of the stuff in the room has reset, and it's started from square one. That is true for every single, that is true for all the other enemies, like all the other levels in this game. All the enemies reset, the rooms reset, all the lockers, all the doors, and yeah. So, same deal, just waiting for the wave to pass. So, this is basically expected of the player to beat this level. This is kind of just like a tested combat ability, especially if the player spent most of the time being very careful and stealth-based elements. This is a definitely section to force the player into combat. I do like to keep in mind that there is some part of this element, like elements of the game, if you are pushing up at its skill, you are able to melee most enemies and still, like, survive. So, there is a heavy emphasis relating to skill-based elements, like how you are able to react to different parts of this game. So, this, if I were to talk about the code of this game, most of the enemies utilize similar codes to each other, because most of them have a sleeping code and are required to scan and check the player in the same way. Big boys function almost very similar to sleepers, just with higher health damage. Shooters do have an added element of having to run away from the player and have slower movement speed. Scouts are unique in the fact that they cannot inherently detect players in the same way, but they do still wake up and so you can see I just started. So this is I am not showing this. So after this warm sequence, you shoot the last wave of the game, and the enemies would. So my added challenge to each wave was to add more and more big boys. Being as if you do not manage your shotgun ammo or your pistol ammo well, you should end up with a large deficit, and you may not be able to do it. As big boys are incredibly difficult without mission. Now you can see that I have essentially gripped this very and I can assure you that I've had quite a few play tests this game, just as the runs and stuff, and almost zero, none of them have been able to pass. Yeah, this sequence in itself, but most people have very fun at level 1. As a person who has played the digital GTFO game, I quite used to this mechanic, and also quite used to just the game mechanics itself because I designed this game. I know how many bullets kill each enemy, but I think when I first completed this game, I almost ended with 0 ammo and was struggling to that last phase. So once you activate this, your level's done, and you must run and complete extraction. Usually, if you do not end off with at least 27 to 47%, you may not have enough money on this level. And that is a normal aspect of GTFO, that if you cannot survive that last extraction point as your loss, and you just need to manage your business to get better. Okay, So I extract it, and you will receive flavor text regarding different parts of your game. Click enter to continue. The warden will give you some messages, and the game finishes there. Thank you for listening to my game and my explanation of my game S.O.S. This game required 19 different tabs for processing, each for its own class or system, with around 2,700 lines of code to run this whole thing, not including, including like all the code required to run and create all the animations. Thank you for listening, and thank you for listening.